Okay, if we could have your attention, please. We are joined by our runner-up finisher in today's STP 500, AJ Allmendinger, driver of the number 47 Kroger Butterfinger Coffee Mate Chevrolet for JTG Doherty Racing. This is his second runner-up finish at Martinsville. First one was in April of 2012. AJ, great job out there. Just talk a little bit about your race today.
Thank you.
Great racing. That was fun.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, just a really solid weekend as a whole. You know, we had a good qualifying, a great happy hour, and you know, early in the race we weren't quite where we wanted to be, and we got our car really good on the long runs. That's kind of where I thought we shined. We didn't have great short run speed, but after about 30 or 40 laps, we could really get rolling there. I was kind of hoping we'd stay green the last 120 laps. I figured that wasn't going to happen, but I was praying we had a shot at that, because I really felt like if that happened, we had a great chance to win the race. But overall, just solid. You know, Randall Burnett, first-year crew chief, Ernie Cope coming aboard, they've made a huge difference. You know, my crew chief last year, Brian Burns, kind of going down back to his engineering role, and Tony Palmer, that was the engineer last year, being kind of the second race engineer. Everybody's just embraced their roles. It's made this team a lot of fun to be around. Tad and Jody Geschichter, they've really put that extra effort into the race team this year to get the personnel, anybody that saw our car, obviously, get the sponsors as well. And pit crew really stepped up. The last 2 weeks they've been awesome, so just a solid race.
Great. Thank you. We're also joined by our third place finisher, Kyle Larson, driver of the number 42 Target Chevrolet for Chip Ganassi Racing. This is his best finish at Martinsville, first top 10 here. So Kyle, just talk us through your race today.
Yeah, it was a It was a solid weekend for myself. Also, you know, I was able to do double duty this week, and I definitely think that helped me get my rhythm early in the weekend, and just better myself each time I was on the track. So, and our car was way better than it has been here in the past, and you know, I felt like I learned a lot throughout that race. I was able to run behind, you know, great drivers here, you know, AJ, Jimmy, Kevin, Kurt Kozlowski. There's a lot of people that I could learn off of, and you know, this is in the past has been my worst racetrack on the schedule. So to get a top 3 finish here feels great. Feels like a win, to be honest, and you know, hopefully this is a good momentum shift that we need. We've been struggling all year long so far, and been working hard, but hasn't paid off. So it's nice to, like I said, be on the podium here, and you know, go on to Texas, a track where I've ran good in the past at, and hopefully get a solid finish there also.
Great, thank you. We'll now open it up for questions. Please state your name, affiliation. We will get a microphone to you. We'll start right over here on the right.
Yeah, Barry Richmond, Piedmont Broadcasting Corporation. Kyle, having run yesterday and run today and having a good finish, how much were you able to take away from the truck race yesterday, knowing sometimes that's not the case, but also knowing that Goodyear brings the same tire for both divisions for here at Martinsville?
Yeah, well, normally a truck does not drive anything like a Cup car, and this is the only racetrack probably where it does. So I think, you know, like I said, just getting more laps on this racetrack is the most important part for myself. In the past, I've always struggled with, you know, just hitting my marks lap after lap, and I think, you know, just getting almost twice the amount of laps this weekend as I normally would here helped me just become smoother and more patient, and maybe get an idea of what I need to feel like going around the racetrack. And yeah, I definitely think it paid off. So, you know, hopefully the next Martinsville I can run for them again. I think it helped a lot, and hopefully it's something I can do, you know, from here on out for a while until I feel like I'm good enough where I don't need to run it.
Okay, next we'll go to Bob.
Bob Hocker, ESPN. I have 2 for AJ. First off, did you want that late caution, or did you feel like you had the momentum going into before it came out?
The one with 35 to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that, you know, we'd stay green, because our long run car was really good. I'd gotten a little bit more aggressive early in the run to try to stay closer to everybody. And, you know, I could see Kyle. I think I'd come off 4, and I could see Kyle, I think, going in turn 1 in a lot of traffic. So that time I was hoping we'd stay green, but I figured we wouldn't. You know, and at that point, our short run car wasn't great. So, you know, Randall Burnett made a great adjustment there to try to be a little bit better on the short run. And it was pretty good on those restarts.
And also, you've had many races where you've run well, maybe the first 2/3 of the race, and something will happen. Just what does it mean to put together a complete race, especially at Martinsville Speedway 500 laps?
Yeah, I think that's something that really, starting at the West Coast Swing and coming through here, I feel like we've been at our best at the end of the races. We've maximized. That's the biggest thing is we said, if we just maximize our finishes, whether they're top 5 or you're running 20th and you can get 18th out of it, that's what you have to do. And Atlanta, we had some problems. So I've really felt like the last 4 races we've been able to put together whole races. Fontana and here we had really fast race cars. So, we're getting there. There's ups and downs. This is a long season. So, the biggest thing, especially with a team like ours, is when you have a good race car, you got to capitalize on it. And, fortunately today we were able to do that.
Okay, go to Nick next.
Nick DeGroot, Motorsport.com. AJ, you alluded to it a little bit there, but how has Randall and Ernie really helped strengthen this team?
Well, just Brian Burns and Tony Palmer, my crew chief and race engineer last year, they were just at a bit of a disadvantage. We didn't have the personnel to have the cars where we needed them when they left the race shop, exactly where they needed to be, getting put into the hauler and getting brought to the racetrack. So, Ernie's really good. He's had a relationship with RCR, working there, and then obviously when he worked with Kevin Harvick and they had the truck and Busch teams at the time. So he's been really good about making sure we got what we need for the race cars and built the way they need to be to the specs that he wants them and things like that. And, Randall, for a first-year crew chief, you wouldn't really know it. He's great on the box. He calms me, which shockingly, I don't know if you guys know this, I probably need that sometimes. He's just, it doesn't seem like he's only done this for 6 races. So they brought a lot, but it's not just about those guys. Brian Burns and Tony Palmer, they stepped back into new roles, and instead of feeling like they've been downsized or demoted, they've stepped up and embraced it. So the whole team here at the racetrack, at the shop, they've all stepped up. Pit crews the last 2 weeks have really stepped up, and it's just there's a good vibe around the team. It's fun to be at the race shop. It's fun to be at the racetrack with the guys. Everybody seems a little bit more energetic, so it's a big deal. And Tad's working hard, and Jody's working hard to keep putting stickers on those race cars, and it's important when they do that to try to give them in return good runs.
Okay, we'll now go to the press box for a question.
Chris Knight, CatchFans.com, one for AJ and one for Kyle. For AJ, how do you feel about going to Texas next weekend, considering how the last 2 races have gone?
Yeah, Texas hasn't been one of our best racetracks, but I feel like our mile-and-a-half program has definitely improved. That's a racetrack that it's tough. A guy like Kyle, he's really good. He goes and runs the top there, so it's a place that I've had decent runs, but I've never really had great runs there. So I'm always kind of searching to feel like what I need, but, race cars are getting better. So I know the guys back at the shop are pretty pumped up with the Texas car, and we'll unload it and see what kind of speed we have and kind of base the rest of our weekend off of that.
And for Kyle, will you consider running the truck race in October to help keep your rhythm up for the Cup race on Sunday?
Yeah, I think with the success we had this weekend here, it's for sure. At least we'll try and work it out to do it again. I had their GMS's Xfinity team working on the trucks, so I don't think Xfinity runs again that weekend later in the year. So hopefully we can do it again. I had a lot of fun racing with them. That's a great group of people over there, and like I said a lot, I feel like it's helped me quite a bit. So I'll definitely be trying to talk whoever I need to talk into, let me run it.
Any additional questions for Kyle and AJ? Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
To Pam.
Hi, AJ. Deb Williams with RacingToday.com. There's been some people who have said that people who excel in road racing do well here at Martinsville. You're such an excellent road racer. Do you agree with that, and if so, why?
I don't know. A little bit. I wouldn't say it's if you're good at road course racing, you're going to come here. I know the first couple of times I came here, I couldn't figure this place out to save my life. So, It's just a rhythm racetrack. There's a fine line between needing to be aggressive enough and using the brakes and the things you have to do and be fast, and then overusing them. And that's kind of the way road course driving is. It's always a fine line. You can be aggressive, but you got to know that line to where you overstep it. I would say a place like Richmond, that's more way finesse and things like that. So there's a little bit to it, but it just helps when good race cars are brought to the racetrack. I mean, that makes a big difference, and when we're making the right adjustments on them and things like that, that's I would say that's a bigger difference. But the thing is, in the Sprint Cup Series, everybody's good. It seems like no matter where you go, even at road course races now. So Kyle had never seen a road course and about one right away at Sonoma. So it's everybody's just. It's the best in the world when it comes to driving race cars, especially these types of race cars. So it's just it's tough no matter where you go.
Any final questions? All right, gentlemen, congratulations. Thank you very much.